The doorbell's sharp chime shattered the stillness of my Saturday morning, cutting straight through me like a blade to the chest. When I opened the door, a man I'd never seen stood there, his eyes burning with a fury that said he knew exactly who I was, or thought he did. "You're the one keeping her trapped," he growled, stepping so close I could smell the bitter coffee on his breath. "And I'm here to make sure you let her go." I froze, my hand locked on the doorknob as the world seemed to tilt beneath me. My wife, Sarah, had been drifting away for months. Late nights at the office, cryptic texts she brushed off with a laugh, a new perfume clinging to her skin that I didn't recognize. I told myself it was just the pressure of her job as a graphic designer, or the quiet erosion that happens in a marriage nearing its 10th year. But this man, fists clenched and words dripping with venom, wasn't a stranger to her. He was a shadow I'd felt but refused to name. Sarah and I had built a life that once felt like a watercolor painting. Soft strokes of love and routine, years of blended dreams. We'd met in college, bonded over midnight diner runs, and whispered promises of a future we'd sketch together. Her laughter used to anchor me. Her touch was my compass. But lately her eyes avoided mine. Her smiles were thin, rehearsed. I noticed how she angled her phone away from me, how she lingered too long in the bathroom after a shower, guarding secrets in the steam. I convinced myself it was nothing, that love could withstand silence. I was wrong. The first Rayolle crack appeared 3 months earlier. I'd found a dinner receipt in her purse, from a restaurant we'd never gone to. The date matched the night. She'd told me she was working late. I asked her about it, my voice trembling between hope and dread. "Just a client dinner," she said quickly, her eyes flashing something I couldn't pin down. Guilt, maybe, or defiance. I wanted to believe her, so I did. I buried the doubt, told myself trust was a decision, not a feeling. But doubt, once planted, grows roots you can't ignore. The man at my door, his name, I'd later learn, was Ethan, didn't wait for a response. "She doesn't love you anymore," he spat, his tone deliberate, as if rehearsed. "She's been with me for 6 months. You're just too blind to see it." Each word hit like a fist, bruising the fragile hope I'd been clinging to. I wanted to shout, to shove him back, to demand answers. But my throat locked up, my limbs weighed down by the truth I'd been dodging. I stepped back, closed the door without a word, and let silence devour me. Inside, the house felt foreign, the air thick with betrayal. Sarah was at her sister's, or so she'd said. I collapsed onto the couch, staring at the framed photo from our 5th anniversary. Her head rested on my shoulder, both of us smiling like we cracked the code forever. Now the memory felt like a cruel joke, a script written by someone else. I didn't call her. I didn't text. I just sat there, replaying Ethan's words, each one slicing deeper. When Sarah finally walked in that evening, her face paled at the sight of me, as if she could already sense the storm inside me. I didn't yell. I didn't break down. I only asked, "Who is Ethan?" Her eyes widened, then dropped. In that instant, I saw the truth she'd been hiding. She tried to spin a story, but it unraveled with every word. She admitted it. 6 months of lies, stolen moments, a passion she claimed just happened. She spoke of feeling alive again, of things I hadn't given her. Each confession cut deeper than Ethan's confrontation ever could. I could have fought. I could have begged her to stay. Instead, I chose something that felt like both surrender and defiance. I walked away, not from the house, but from the illusion of us I'd clung to. I packed a bag, left a note that simply read I need time, and drove an hour to a motel. The road blurred through tears I hadn't realized were falling. I didn't want revenge. I didn't even want explanations. I wanted to remember who I was before love blinded me. In the dim motel room, I stared into a cracked mirror, wondering how I'd miss the signs, how I'd let trust turn into a cage. Sarah's betrayal wasn't just a wound. It was a reflection, showing me a man who had swallowed half-truths just to keep the peace. When Ethan stood at my door, I stayed silent, not because I was weak, but because some truths are too heavy to scream. The real battle wasn't with him, or even with her. It was with myself. To rebuild a life that didn't depend on someone else's promises. And as I lay in that creaking bed, her betrayal still raw, I whispered into the emptiness. I deserve more than a love built on lies.